So today's the day. I'm heading down to Concord / Charlotte, North Carolina to go to Mad Monster Party and to meet Peter Criss. It's the first KISS member I've ever met in the 45 plus years of being a KISS fan. This is the first KISS member I will ever meet, and honestly, it's the first member that I wanted to meet. So today I get to meet Peter Criss. We're going to be taking the White Knuckle Challenger down to Charlotte with us. I am fully KISS nerded out. I've got some things for him to sign. We're probably going to get there about 1 in the afternoon, and I meet Peter sometime after 3:45 today. So we're going to document that today. We're going to take you along with us. So come along for the ride. Let's go. So this past weekend on February 18th, I went down to Concord, North Carolina, went to Mad Monster Party, which is basically a horror con, and I got to meet Peter Criss, first KISS member that I've ever met, and all the times I've been a fan. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my whole experience and give my thoughts to the whole process and the whole experience of meeting Peter and what exactly it was like attending the Monster Con or the Mad Monster Festival. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about the memory of it. And it was there was good stuff and there was bad stuff. And I want to just follow along with me here. So when we got there, I don't have a whole lot of video and I don't have a whole lot of photos because you weren't allowed to take video or photo around Peter. Anytime you were in a room that he was at, you weren't allowed to take video or photo, and he was kind of separated off from everybody. His meet and greet, he was separated off, and his autograph session, he was separated off from everybody. So he wasn't just out and about, and he was always in like a room separated. So with the photo shoot, with the photo op that you paid for, you got to get a picture of Peter, and he was behind his drum set, picture with Peter, and that was pretty cool. But let me back up a little bit to the whole experience. So we got there this was held at a Embassy Suites. And we got there and there was no parking, absolutely no parking. We didn't get there super early. We got there probably about lunchtime. And I didn't want to go and spend all day there because I was just basically going down to meet Peter. I was going down to see my friend Matthew Smith and his lovely wife Casey. And because they had a booth there where they were selling stuff that they make, Saturday comics and stuff like that. And just a little sidebar, he gave me this. He had bought this for me. And this is the thrilling, thrilling sounds of the haunted house from Disneyland press. And he had actually found a couple of these. And I guess at a record store or something. But he bought me one, and I had one of these when I was a kid. So this is going to definitely bring back some memories listening to this album. I'm probably going to wait until Halloween because it's definitely a Halloween thing. So I'm probably going to wait till the fall to check this out. But thank you, Matthew, for this. I really appreciate that. And so we got there and it was really crowded. And so we couldn't find parking in the hotel parking lot where we wanted to stay at. So we went to a hotel parking lot and we parked our car there. I didn't see any tags or any things in any windows, so we figured we're safe to park our car there. So we went down and walked around a little bit, and I ran into Matthew and talked to them for a little bit. And my appointment to meet Peter for the photo op was at 3:45, and we'd gotten there about maybe 12. So come to find out, I had heard that you had to kind of get in line to go see Peter, and the line was real long. But the line that was actually lined up was for American Horror Story. So we found out, we were wondering if Peter was going to be doing his autographs and his photos there. Turned out he wasn't. He was doing autographs in another place. So we paid $90 or something for the photo op and found out that Peter was doing up to 5 autographs and was charging $80 cash per autograph. And I didn't realize that. I'd actually brought some stuff. I'd brought up to 5 things because I'd heard he had signed up to 5 things. And I guess I'm naive in a lot of this stuff because I don't hardly ever go to this stuff like this. I can't remember the last time I paid somebody for an autograph. And I know that's probably how things are now. But, you know, so I went and got in line to get Peter's autograph. And I'm glad at the time that I didn't get through. The line was so long that Peter actually had to stop to go do his photo op. So what they did was they gave out tickets because Peter was going to come back like 2 hours later at 5 o'clock and do more signings of autographs from 5 to 7. So I got a ticket for a time slot of 5:15. They asked how many was going to be in my party, and I told 1 because my wife actually had to leave and go get in our car because we found out that they were going to be towing cars from the other hotels. So she went and sat in the car because she wasn't wanting to risk her car getting towed. And, you know, I really hated that she had to go do that because I had basically had to wait in these long lines by myself. But I got the chance to talk to other KISS fans. I actually got recognized by several people. Got recognized, and I tried to ask people their name and remember their names, and I can't remember their names. I know one guy, he was from Gastonia. He was from where I grew up. That's why it sticks in my head because I grew up from there. But there were some other people. There were some people from Florida. There were some people from, I think, Pennsylvania that knew me. So I got recognized with that. That was kind of cool. People, you know, knew my channel. And while I was waiting in lines, I got to talk to people like Jillian Gill. Jillian Gill was there. Andy Moyen was there. Jason Herndon was there. And so there was a bunch of people that was there that was part of the Catman's team, Team Catman. And so while I was waiting in line to get my picture made, there was a guy that was sitting beside me that had a KISS back glass to the KISS pinball machine, the 79 Bally KISS pinball machine. Peter was the last autograph that he needed. So we were talking, and he started telling me about how it was $80 per autograph and that it was cash and that they had to go to another hotel to get the ATM. So I'm sitting here going, well, I'm not going to have $400 to pay for autographs. So I was only going to have to pick, I knew I'd pay $160. So I picked 2 of my things. So 2 of the things I showed, I only got autographed. But I did go in, I did get my picture taken with Peter. And I'm going to hold it up here, but I'm also going to take a picture and show it because this is probably going to have ring light all over it. Try to get it there where you can see it. But there is me. That was a green screen. And yeah, I'll put a picture up right here of this. That was a green screen behind us, but Peter was sitting at his drums, behind his drums. And my experience with this was, it was a lot of waiting to get your picture taken, but that's understandable. before we got to go into the room, because they had you in a room before you went into the other room. It was very organized when it come to that. And Peter got up behind the drum set and started playing. I couldn't see him because I was in another room, but I could hear him. And he played several very recognizable beats, very recognizable fills, and he just kind of went off and did a little solo. And that was really cool to hear that, knowing that in the next room, Peter Criss was playing his drums in the next room, less than 20 feet away from me, with a partition wall separating us. And when you came in, you kind of, when you got into the line to go into that room, you saw Peter from the side. So you were in a line and you kind of worked your way up. And when you got there, they had you stand on a square till it was your turn. And then you went and you stood on a square in front of him. And I said, hey, Peter, you know, I've been a fan for a long time. And he's like, turn around, smile for the camera, and held his drumsticks up like that. And he's like, come on, smile. You know, you're supposed to be having fun. And that's when they took the picture. And then right after they took the picture, they're like, okay, go through that door. And you go through that door and you're done. It was literally from when I stepped into the room Peter was in to when I walked out was literally maybe 20 seconds. And I kind of walked away thinking, wow, I got this cool picture. And I didn't see this picture because it took like 2 hours to get the picture. Didn't get it right then. They had to print it. But I remember thinking, well, is that it? Is that all the time that I'm going to get to talk to Peter? Is that, you know, and if it is, that's kind of a bummer. I mean, I was standing in front of his kit, and, you know, it was literally, if I'd have done like this, I'd have hit his bass drum. But I was just thinking, man, is that it? And so I went back for the autograph session at 5 o'clock and went in, and they brought us into a room that had like chairs and a U, and you sat down, and Andy Moyen came around, and I'll put a picture up of Andy. He's on Jillian Gill's stuff a lot. I was in a video with Jillian and Andy. We talked about Wasp. But he came around and he sprayed people's hands with alcohol and had to put on a mask. And I got to talk to him a little bit, and we were talking about the upcoming Record Store Day, Eric Carr album and stuff like that. And so then you went into the next room, and you were kind of lined up straight, and I could see Peter. He was at the table, and I got to see him for a few minutes before I actually got up to him. They came and they asked you, you know, I had my bag, had my picture disc and my friend's action figure and my friend's tapestry and my other 2 things that I wanted to get signed. And they asked me, are you getting all this stuff signed? And I said, no, just these things. And they're like, oh, well, only keep what you're getting. Go ahead and take it out, any plastic or anything. And so when you go up to Peter, you know, that you can just lay it on the table. And I said, well, I want to get this book signed on the inside. And they said, well, put it to where you want to get it signed at. So, you know, to be fast and efficient. And I thought again that I was just going to be shuttled through like cattle. And I know that sounds very jaded, I guess, or very negative. But I just, you know, you kind of lined up and kind of corralled, and you kind of feel like you was following the ass in front of you, and you're like, you know. So I got up to where the guy was, and he's like, he's like, how many things you getting autographed? And I said 2. He's like, okay, it'll be $160. So I gave him $160. And then he's like, hey, I laid my stuff down on the table and slid down to Peter, and Peter was sitting there, and Gigi was with him. And I laid this in front of him. I laid this down in front of him. And his initial thing was, oh, wow, that was a badass tour. That was one of my favorite tours, is what he said. And before he got the chance to sign here, I'm like, I don't want you to sign there. I want you to sign right here. And as I was doing it, I was flipping through the book. I was flipping through in it like this. And Gigi was like, wow, look at that. And so I got to this picture right here, and I'm like, this is the one I want you to sign. I said, I had this on my wall, a poster, and I was so envious of this whenever I was this drum set when I was a kid, And I've been a fan since I was 7 years old. And I always wanted this drum set of yours. And I'll put a picture of it up. I said, I always wanted the drum set of yours. And he's like, where do you want me to sign it? And I'm like, anywhere you want. And Gigi's like, sign it right down here. So he signed it right there, and I'll get a better picture, close-up of it so you can see it. But he signed right there on the bass drum. And he's like, he was looking at it. He looked down at it after he signed it, and he went, that was the most badass kit. I love that kit. And he's like, and you see that gong right there? I stole that gong from John Bonham. And I just thought that was the coolest little exchange that we got to have. And I said, well, that kit and listening to you play on Alive 2 made me want to play drums, made me want to start playing drums. And so the next thing I had him sign was I had him sign my KISS Migo box. And I said, this is the box that your doll goes in and your action figure. And he's like, those damn dolls. And I said, yeah. I said, well, yours had a broke leg. I had to fix it. I said, they make replacement parts now for them. And he kind of laughed about that. And so he signed it right there. I saw other people, they had gotten theirs personalized or whatever, like to whoever. And, you know, honestly, I was so starstruck because the dude was literally this far away from me. If I'd have stuck my hands out, I'd have grabbed his head. He was this far away. And he was sitting down below me because he was at a table. And he looked great. People were asking me, you know, and I've been trying not to answer too many questions. He looked great. He sounded great. He looked like he was in very good health. He sounded good playing the little drum solo stuff that he was doing. I'm me saying little. I don't mean that demeaning. He just played for a very little amount of time. But he looked great. And I told him, I said, you know, I said, I've been a fan of yours for years, since I'm 53 now, and I've been a fan since I was 7. And he looked up at me. He said, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for being a fan. And he said, and, you know, take care and God bless. And I knew that was kind of my, you know, okay, next person. And so that was my basic experience with Pete. So I've been keeping Pete back here because he, you know, his box was away. So what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to put the cat man, we're going to put him back in his box. So let me put this box together here. Put him back in his box, and he's going to go on the shelf. I told the lady that works at the coffee shop that I go to every morning, because she wanted to know my experience and she wanted to know all about it. And I was telling her about it Monday morning. And I told her the good and the bad, basically what I've told you guys, sitting here right now in this last 15 minutes or so. I told her the good and the bad. And she's like, but she goes, well, if you had to do it all over again, would you go? And I was like, absolutely. Absolutely, I would. It was, some parts of it were a pain in the butt. Some parts of it was very inconvenient. Some parts of it was very, not exactly what I envisioned in my brain. But I really didn't know what to envision because I'd never really done anything like this. I've never really went to a lot of conventions where you get stuff signed by people. I will tell you this, that, you know, the two biggest people there were Peter Criss and Robert England. They had their own rooms where you could get autographs or pictures taken separately. A lot of American Horror Story people were there, and they had photo ops of group and individual where you could get taken. They were in the room beside where Peter was. But there was a lot of people there that they were just out and about. And I don't know a lot of people's names, but I know that Bill from Bill and Ted was there. The guy that played the governor in The Walking Dead was there. The guy a lot of the American Horror Story people were there. And I just don't know people's names. I just know the names of characters and some of the shows they played on. And I did get some video, and I will show this video here while I'm talking. I did get some pictures, very few. And one time I actually walked around for a lot thinking that I was recording, but I actually wasn't recording. I was recording, I actually hit record, and then I think instead of hitting record, I actually took a picture. You know, it's an old person thing that happens. But Peter, you couldn't take pictures with him anyway. The only picture you could take with him was the photo op picture. And you couldn't take video. You couldn't take video or pictures when you were doing autograph or anything like that. It was basically get in and see and talk for just a few minutes and then go. And I got asked, well, how long were you in front of Peter when you were talking to him? How long was that exchange? It was at the most a minute to a minute and a half. It wasn't very long at all. And but you know, I have the autograph of my World Tour 77, 78 book, and I have the autograph of my my doll. The only thing that I probably would have done if I could have maybe got one more autograph is I would have got him to autograph his solo album. He was autographing the solo albums in this really beautiful looking green pen. And I probably would have gotten him to hopefully I would have had enough forethought to get him to sign it to Brant. But so this is, but this was worth it. This right here was worth it. And the signature in the book was worth it. And just the exchange, I know I was just another face in the crowd, and of the hundreds of faces he saw that day, he probably wouldn't be able to pick me out of a lineup from Adam. But, you know, I'll remember that day. And I'll have this, and I'll have this, and I'll have my picture. And I'll have my awesome album that my buddy Matthew Smith got me. So that is, that's my experience, y'all. That's, you know, if y'all have any more questions, put them down in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube-y stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. And I can finally say that I've met a member of KISS. I've met after 46 years now, that I've met the Catman. I met the Catman, Peter Criss. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.